Okay, so login in here directly into the VirtualBox and type in if config there. Here, type if config. Remember, if you have worked and then did you work on static IP? Did you give it a static IP? So you have to go in here and then check to see if the IP address has changed or something. Okay, so this is a perfect picture here. What it does is the bottom rectangle here is a big rectangle, is a server, and then it has two interface cards, ETH1 and ETH0, and they are bonded together with one virtual Ethernet card. Okay, and then this this scenario here is if one interface goes down, other one will pick up. Okay, the scenario the link goes down is either the interface goes down or the switch goes down. If this entire switch goes down, so it will switch to another link here which is connected through ETH0 and switch 0. Okay, so you will be getting a lot of these calls, and in the ticket it will be mentioned, okay, the link is not working and all that, so you have to come in here, and then there will be some process how to figure this out. But I will be surprised if both links are down at the same time. If both links are down at the same time, that's a big issue, and it's an even bigger issue if it's a production box. When I say production in the sense, that means it's actively being worked or customer facing. That's what it means, production. Okay, so all right, so how we're going to do on my virtual box, I'm going to add, for this host, I'm going to add, go into settings, and then
But
go into,
Zafar, I have a
yeah,
question on this NIC bonding. In this diagram, we are showing just one Ethernet port on one switch. Normally, a switch has many Ethernet ports.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, is the bonding has between Ethernet port 0 on switch 0 to another Ethernet port on other switch, or bonding can be done on the same switch as well?
No, you have to have two Ethernet port for a bond to work, at least two.
No, no, that I understand. I'm saying that one switch, in this diagram, we are showing two separate switches and two separate Ethernet ports. But
Yeah,
in
the idea
reality,
is
yeah,
this is the best case scenario here. If you put, what if the switch goes down? Then we are dead in water for both of them. So
okay.
we have two different switches here. This is the best practice here. You might want to, if you're doing bounding, then you keep the switches separate too. What if the switch goes down? And then the entire access to the entire database is down. So what happening here is this is actually this is how it works. Active, 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 then active, passive. One time, one of this everything will be active here, but one of the Ethernet adapter would be sleeping. So the moment one goes down, other one will pick up. Yeah, I mean, in the sleeping in the sense here, it will come up and then check and go to sleep. It will come up, check and go to sleep. Okay. So there won't be any time or in even a millisecond that the connection for this for this database will be down, because that's what we have this setup here, so that the connection is up all the time. And then with the servers and everything, the physical hardware server and then the physical switch, all those get replaced to 3 to 5 years. They, I mean, most big corporation, they just don't rely on anything more than 5 years, because that's just an electronic device, and it has served well and it's time to go. So all this will be done as a part of a either transition or refresh or rollout. One of those things would be you would be always be involved in the scenario here, that okay, new rollout is going on, so new hardware is coming in, old hardware will be coming out, so you will be involved in the project, that you have to verify a lot of things here and then move into production. So
And this active passive is it, are you sharing two different things like active and active passive, or this is one scenario active?
okay, here, okay,
It
Nico.
should be all right. Active or active passive, right?
Okay, this is ETH0. Okay, let's put this as ETH1. Okay, and let's put this as ETH0. Okay, so one Ethernet card is active all the time. It has the switch, and then the Ethernet card is active all the time. Okay, and one link is going to be going to active and passive. It goes go to come up active and go to sleep again. So
Okay.
it's happening at a fraction of a millisecond or whatever. I mean, this is more deep into networking here, but unfortunately, I don't know much about my networking itself. But as when you get a ticket here, all of a sudden there is no issue in here. So what you could be doing in this scenario is you will be actually working with a network team, and then going back and forth, and say the very first thing that will happen is if something goes down, it comes to the Linux admins. I think I mentioned this before, that a lot of other teams are dependent on Linux team. Yeah, I think I mentioned it
Yeah,
as well.
you did.
So anything is going on, if there is a slow issue, people can connect this and that. You are the one who will get this, because you are the base of all the operations here. You will get it, and then you verified all these things is working here, and then after that, okay, you see, okay, it's a network issue, so you work with network team, and they will do their thing, and you will verify and work together to get this box up and running. Okay.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, to stimulate that, right now we have only one adapter here, right? So I'm going to add another adapter here. Okay, I think I have to shut down host, so I'm shutting it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is one adapter is already there. So I'm this is what I'm doing here is I'm actually adding a second adapter here. Host only adapter, and then let me verify allow. And remember, this is a MAC address. This is the physical address of the network adapter. So this means a lot to the computer here, because if the MAC address change, then you're changing the adapter itself.
Zafar bhai, can you go back to network one more time? My adapter 2 is disabled. Only adapter
Yeah,
1
you
I
have
can
to
see.
shut it down. Is it running?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, shut it down, and then when you get in here, it will light up.
Okay.
That's what I did a moment ago. Okay, I'm logging in.
But the only thing which we changed in the second is the host only adapter, right? Everything else was same, or did we change anything else?
Uh, no, what you do is go
Network,
into
yeah,
network, and then
yeah.
I verify
Allow all, yeah,
permission
forget,
here, and then
yeah,
I just uh, made
allow
sure it's
all.
matching here.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay?
Promises mode to allow all is also changed. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. I type if config here, and this is our ETH1, and then the moment we added the second adapter, it has two IPs now. Look, this is IP1, 104, and 108. This is being randomly granted by the uh, router here. Router is giving out random DHCP IP here. Okay, so there is another command you type IPADDR. It will give you information here. So the very first one is a loopback. That means it's a loopback. It just stays within the host. So we not worry about that. And then this one is ETH1. ETH1. This is what we've been working last week, and we set this as a static IP. And then this one is the second one which we have here. So if we go into the etc configuration for this, we won't see ETH2 in there. So we have to create one, copying from ETH1. Okay, so we don't have ETH2 in here, right? We see ETH1, but we don't see ETH2. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy from ETH1 to ETH2. Okay, let's see here. Okay.
But what we are not seeing in ETG2?
ETH2 is the system detected ETH2. It has another NIC adapter attached to the system here, and it's using the IP address. But this is not persistent here. This is not configured hardwired. If I may use that term, this is not hardwired yet. Okay,
Okay, so
when you create ETH2 here physically, then it's kind of hardwired.
okay, so when we are doing if config, we are seeing the IP address, different IP address attached to ETH2 and ETH1, and different hardware address.
Yes.
So what is missing? I'm just trying to understand why we are going to change.
Okay, hold on.
I think what we can say maybe an ATC configuration is missing, so we are doing configuration.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So in here, this folder holds the network interface configuration file here. and we see only for ETH1. We don't see one for ETH2.
Okay.
Right? Now, in the production environment, you physically have to write this down in the configuration so that it remembers it. Okay.
Therefore, I have the ETH1 IP address also. So it's just assigned me automatically.
Okay, you may what you have. Yours may be different because I'm playing around with the system here.
Okay.
Right now, I have only ETH1 and ETH2, but ETH2 is not hardwired, so I'm hardwiring it now. Yeah, you have to be careful what you have. Don't follow you follow my video, but see what you have in there. If you have ETH0 and ETH1 is the new one, then you copy ETH0 to ETH1. And similarly, if you have more than other numbers here.
What about the IP, which is automatically assigned for ETH1?
We are working on it. It's assigned DHCP, so we are working on it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to make the device ID ETH2, okay? ETH2 here. And then I told you, I think one time here, hardware address is not needed. Okay, I'm going to delete that. And on boot, and then boot proto, it says static here, but we're going to give it to DHCP. And then this is the IP address. So since it's DHCP, we're going to delete this. We're not assigning. So these are the essentials for the. This is the essential you really need for the network card to work.
So perfect. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So when I did the IF config on my end, I have ETH3 and ETH4, and then when I go into the CD etc sys config, the network scripts, I have IFCFG
Can you take a picture and send it to me?
-0. So I did IF config, right, and I got ETH3 and ETH4. And then when I go into the IFCFG, the network script, I have IFCFG -th0. Do I need to manually upgrade that? It's not matching with my IF config.
Okay, do this here. Do IP ADDR. And it will clearly tell you in the order it's assigned here. You see ETH1. That's the original one. And then the ETH2 I have this is the second one I just added. What are you saying here? What is your number one?
So my number one is the loop.
Okay.
And then the second one I have is ETH3.
Okay.
And then the third one I have the one I just added was ETH4.
Okay, yeah, because you've been playing around. That's why if the moment the hardware address changes, it will take another number here. So if I go and mess around here, if I play around here, and then if I go into network, and then on for the same connection adapter one, if I just refresh this here. MAC address, then it will take next number down. It will take like ETH3. Okay, don't worry about that. So you are in this folder, right? And then you do ls here.
Yes.
So right now you should have only ETH 3, right? ETH3. ETH4 should be
No,
missing.
it shows. No, it says ETH0.
Okay.
So
ETH0 is there because you have been playing around and you haven't made ETH3 permanent in here. So copy ETH4, ETH0, and then make it ETH3. Then copy ETH0 again and make it ETH4.
okay, and then I can delete ETH0 then.
Yeah, you could delete ETH0. Okay, these are
All
the
right, thank you.
essentials you have here. You must have you must have 4 lines in here, okay?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so you have ETH1 and ETH2 and go into this directory here. You have to navigate to this directory. etc sysconfig network scripts and do ls there. And then you should see ETH1 should already be there. But if not, then you have to copy ETH0 and make it ETH1, and then you have to copy ETH0 again, make it ETH2. Okay, let's move on. So what we're going to be doing is now we're going to bond this together. Bond ETH. In my case, I'm going to bond ETH1 and ETH2 together and make it bond 1. So that would be only network interface card that will be recognized by the system here. Okay. So how am I going to do this? So I go in here, and then I'm going to do edit this again, very first one. Okay, don't look at the number I have here. Your number may be different than what I have here. That's what I've been repeating so far. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some delete something in here. Okay, by the way, if you don't want to delete, you don't have to. What you could do is you leave all this in place, and then you could copy this and then go into insert mode again. On the top, you could put it here. Okay. And then for every line, if you put like a pound sign here, that means it will be blind. It won't be read by the system. What you're doing here is actually this is part of a scripting. So when you put a pound sign in here, the technical word is comment out. Comment out. When it's commented out, that means the system can't read the script. Okay, so you'll be working with the network team or other people in your group, and say he will tell you like there is a problem going on, and you get his help, and he will tell you, okay, comment out this line. That means put a pound sign at the starting of that line. When you put a pound sign at the starting of the line, what will happen is as if that line is deleted from the system, from that file. So the good practice is to leave the previous information in place so that if you need to come back, you could come back here. Okay. All right. So then what I don't need here is I don't need hardware address. Okay, and then I don't need the Ethernet type. What you could do is, you know what? Let me leave the hardware address on for now. Okay, we'll see if you need to remove it or not. And then We definitely don't need this. And then we need to leave boot on. And then what we're going to do is here, boot proto, we're going to keep it none. Okay, and then the IP address and net mask, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, now what I'm going to say here is device ETH1, and this is a part of bound. So I'm going to give this master equals bound 0. So what it happens here is we're going to create another Ethernet adapter. It's a virtual Ethernet adapter. It's not physical. So we're going to create another Ethernet adapter named bound 0, and that will be the master. So this is a master here, and then what we're telling this system is, are you a slave? And this is a slave. This Ethernet adapter is a slave to bound 0. Okay. So I'm going to pause here and ask for any questions. Okay, guys, so you have to exactly type the way it is. It doesn't have to be bound 0. It could be bound 1 or bound 2. But when you're putting it together at 2 NIC you have to give it if you selected bound 0, give bound 0. If you selected bound 1, give bound 1.
Zafar,
Yeah.
how did you create the band?
I hear you, but a little very low. How does it create what?
How did you create the band?
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Zafar, is this are we editing ETH1 or ETH2?
This is ETH1.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fooling around with ETH1 right now. Okay, and then I'm going to save and exit. Okay, it's clear so far, right? Now I'm going to do the same thing for ETH2, okay? Okay. Okay, so let me give some space here. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to go to ETH2, and then I'm going to comment this out. Yeah. All right, you guys get the idea, right? What is comment out?
Yes.
Yeah, the system is not going to read that line.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so I have a ETH2 here, device is equal to ETH2, and I don't need this here. Let me just copy this here. Okay, so ETH2, we don't need hardware information, and we are telling that this is slave, yes, on boot, yes. Um, okay, hold on, let me just comment out on boot also. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need onboard. Yeah. So this is bothering me, so I'm going to do YY and then go here. Okay, then I'm going to type if config. Nothing should change here unless you start the network. Nothing should change here unless you start the restart the network scripts. Okay. All right. So we've done this here. Now the next part is we're going to physically create a bound zero. It doesn't exist. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create VI. Then we type IFCFG hyphen bound zero. Okay, and hit enter. And then in here, most of the things gonna be the same. So, but the device name is gonna be bound zero. Okay, and then on boot is gonna be static. Okay, and type. Remember we used type before here, right? Type is Ethernet here. So I'm gonna use type as bonding. Type equals to bond. Okay, boot static is a static IP, and then you don't need this. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to physically add the static IP. So usually what happens is you're not gonna you're not gonna be you're not gonna be determining this on your own. This information will be provided to you by the network team. This information will be provided to you by network team.
So, Zafar, in ETG2, we don't need to have the hardware address, right? Because in ETG1 you did, and in ETG2 you didn't.
I'm shooting that in dark here. We'll find out if you need to keep it or remove it.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I think it's okay to keep it, but I'm trying it myself here
Okay.
because I checked this week here, and it is keeping the hardware address. So previously I thought it doesn't, and it should work with or without hardware address. If not, then we'll work on it.
No, in ETG1 you did kept the hardware address, and ETG2 you did not.
Yeah. Okay, so I have everything here, and on boot equals yes. Okay, guys, now you have to type some of these things exactly here. Some of these stuff go into uppercase. All this has to be uppercase. And then for bound, you have to capitalize a B and then on. If you put lower B, it's not going to work. Right here, you have to type static in lower cases. If you type like uppercase S and everything lowercase, it's not going to work. Okay, I don't know why that matters, but that's how it is. And this information, I said you'll get it from the network team here. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so nothing has changed. Still has the IP address 4, and then this is the dynamic IP address assigned by the system here. This one was static, but we changed around a lot in here. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna enable. Let's see here, bound 0. Before that, you have to see all three things are in place. See, bound 0 is there, and then Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2 is there. So I'm going to do cat. Okay. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to enable the drivers for the bound 0. In Linux, it's very easy enabling the drivers here. It's just the command. You type mod probe. What mod probe stands for? Modify the probe. That means you're modifying the bonding. Okay, once you issue that command, what will happen is it has enabled the driver which the system will look as a bonding here. Okay, so let me do IP ADDR Okay, now you see the bound is here. Bound is here. And then it has taken up the IP address 104 because this is the IP address we have given it to the system. Okay, and everything else is still showing the IP address, but once we restart the network, it will go away. Okay, let's see. And then I think we have to add one configuration file. Okay, remember, anytime we go into etc folder, that means we are changing the configuration of the system. Right here, say etc, it contains system configuration files. Okay, all this, if you're going in there and manipulating the system files, that is what etc folder is designed for. In short, or a job, what we call is etc. For etc, we call etc. If somebody is saying go into etc folder and then change or add the file in there, that means etc folder. Okay, and this is the favorite. etc. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. And then the name of the file is bonding. Let me go in there first. Okay, I'm looking for the file name bonding here. So the file name bonding doesn't exist. So what I'm going to do is create one. vi bonding.conf. .conf is .configuration file. Okay, all these are configuration file. .conf, all these. Okay, I'm going to put in a simple command in here, alias bond 0 bonding. All right, that's all I need to put in here. Okay. So you cd into this folder, and if the file doesn't exist, create one. And you're going to create a bonding.conf file. Okay, and then what are you going to put in there? You're going to put one single line here. And let's see here, put table. Okay, this is what you put inside the line. And you save and exit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to see if it's available in the memory. The command to see if it's available in the memory is lsmod, and then you're going to grep bonding. Okay, so bonding is active now. The bonding is active. So I'm feeling very good. When we restart the network services, this is going to work perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to restart the network services here, okay?
So, Muzaffar, to just summarize, we copied ETH1 to ETH2, then we uh, added the slave and master.
Here, keep this information handy here. You don't really have to copy it, but these are the essential things you need to have in any of the network interface card here, okay? So the only reason I'm doing a copy is so that it has this information already. I'm just doing the partial edit, okay? But
Okay, so
but
yeah.
but the steps we did here, yeah, we indeed copied the which is the one which is not even there, we existing one. We copied it and then we fooled around with it, and then this is where we have derived. I'm sorry, what was the question? Is that what your question was or something else?
No, since we have done a lot of things, and I just wanted to go through since we have done everything now. So step by step, so we created an additional interface file, etc2. We then we added the slave and master keywords or parameters into that. Then we created a bonding conf file. What else we did?
Um, so then we did here. It's all in here. We created yeah, the mod prod file, and we created a bonding file. In the bonding file, we put this here, this line here, the exactly where it appears, okay? And then to check if the bonding is enabled, we did the ls mod grab bonding, and it was enabled. And then after that, we restarted the system here.
Okay, so we
Okay, now
created this
the
bonding
system
in mod probe.d, right? It's different directory.
yeah, it's a etc directory, and this is a brand new directory you guys are learning. Mod
Okay.
probe.
I think one command also we ran to,
I I could barely hear you. Command what?
there was a command on the way you ran a command also. I don't see that here.
Over here, ls mod grab
Oh,
bonding.
before that, after configuration,
Yeah, service network restart.
that was the last one. Uh,
Which command? Actually, this is ethb bond 0. Okay. This is we are creating a new file, and this is the content of the file here. Okay.
okay.
Okay, and let's see, ETH4. Okay. Okay. Let's see here if we could connect now. Okay, it's not pinging, so what we have to do is we have to restart the system. Remember, I haven't restarted the system at this moment here, okay? So far, I just restarted the network services. But at this moment, this is a virtual box thing. In real world scenario, you may not have to do it because we are working in a not a very perfect environment. So I'm going to restart and see if it's going to give us the IP address. Okay, so what's happening here is I used 104, and it was already been used by previously it was used by ETH1. So what's happening now is the on the network side in the router, the router has made a temporary entry into the router system that this following hardware is assigned with this IP address. So that's why even though we gave it a physical IP here to bond 0, it's not going to take here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the bond 0 file and give him a random IP, okay, that the router has not used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back the same way here, bonding into the folder cd/hc/modprobe, and then I'm going to go, no, I'm sorry, sysconfig and network script. Okay, and then I'll hit enter here, and then do ls, and then I'm going to edit VIFCFG-bond0. Okay, so I'm going to give it a random one. I think I'll give 110. 110, I never seen that IP address being used by my router here. So I'm going to give 110 and see if it's going to help us. Okay, then I do ls mod. Okay. So I'm going to restart the network service. The command to start network service is service network restart. Look at that. Uh-oh. Okay, good. So now what I have to do is the system IP address is 110 here. It took it. How do you know it took it? You just type ping. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, it's replying. Still not replying. But let me see if I could connect. 192.168.56.110. Oh no, I have to type it in here. Okay, so it gave us an error. Unable to start slave device ETH1 for master bond. So we have to go into slave 1 here and see. I'm thinking it has to do with that hardware address we left in place, okay? Do you guys agree?
I think you can check maybe boot proto in one we have mentioned DHCP and another one I don't know if we have.
Oh, did I? That's a good catch, man.
Yeah.
I think I just have to delete this. That's all it needs. Connection activation failed master. Let me see here.
Both Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2 are slaves of their masters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're going to do now is go back in here and see device ETH1, master is bound 0, and slave, oh, slave, oh, here, it's not supposed to be slave, slave is, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is how, this is real, like, this is how you do real world troubleshooting, okay? Okay, device on boot, yes. Master upon 0, slave, yes. And boot proton. Okay. Connection activation master connection not found or invalid. I'm gonna go ahead and do the physical restart. I may have to change the IP address again. Okay, now it's working. All right. So okay, so let's do. All right. So let's see here. Now you see bond 0 is active, and then right now let's see if we could figure out which network card is active here. Overrun. Okay, you could look at the hardware address of the network card at the moment, then it will be active. Okay, so B30 B3B0. Okay. Okay, right now the network card B3B0 is active, and this network card is the one which is active. Okay, remember I was talking here. ETH in this scenario here, ETH1 is active here. All right, to demonstrate how this is going to work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fail the network card. So the network card is which one was the network card here? B3B0. Okay, B3B0. Okay, B3B0. This is the network card here. I'm going to disconnect the cable here. Okay, and let's see here. Let's see. Okay, the connection is lost. Restart. Okay, I didn't like that. Now it's a B3B0. Okay, that was a bad option here to do. Okay, so what I may have to do is I have to in real world scenario, I mean, you don't have to play around much here. It will the other the other card will pick up right away. Let me see why it's not doing that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so let me shut it down and then restart that way. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away ETH0, ETH1 here, and then we'll start again and see if it's going to keep the IP address. Okay, I'm going to uncheck this, and then I'm going to go this here and then restart the host. Oh, you could still hear me, right? Hello?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you could see ETH1 is gone, right? ETH1 is down. And then what you see is bond 0 is using the right here link in 85DD. Okay, and if you look at the hardware address for bond ETH2, it says 8522. So what will happen is in a real world scenario, we don't really have to restart the computer. It will actually take it over. If the link is broken on the network side or the physical adapter itself is broken and all that, then you will, the bond 0 is helpful in this scenario here. Okay. So what we did so far is successful. Okay, it's working good. All right. Any questions so far? I'll leave it open for 5 minutes here before I proceed to next topic.
Zafar, I have a question in general for this IP address, picking up the IP address. You mentioned that our router, we are using 104, our router is using 104 somewhere. But this subnet 56.1.110, it is not coming from our router, it is coming from VirtualBox or maybe virtual router in the VirtualBox, right?
Yeah. It's still it function as a router.
Okay. So how do we check like if we can go into the our physical router at home and see how the IP address is being assigned, what range it is being assigned, etc. So we can do few things.
Yeah. So you could type ipconfig.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the command prompt ipconfig, and then you look for default gateway here, and you put this in you put this into your browser. You put this into your browser, and then it will. Then you could access the router configuration there.
No, this IP config will give you the actual your physical router, right?
A physical router here is default gateway.
Yeah, But I'm saying the virtual router, the router which is assigning something at these 56 subnet.
Yeah,
What do
if
we
you
do
log in, in here, it will have all the list of routers and everything. I think I have one router attached here on the system here.
This dot 515.1 is your actual router. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the
this
dot
is
56.
outside router. Are you talking
Yeah.
about .56 router?
Yeah.
So for that, I think yeah, you could type a .56.51. I'm not sure if you are able to go in there. Yeah, let's
Okay.
try.
Okay. That is fine. Not important. I just wanted. Okay.
168.
I think you can change that range. That range is specified in the router setting. So you can manually change the range whatever you want.
Yeah. So actually, you could. So this is the one host only adapter. These are this is just the adapter here. Let me see. I think the preference network. What was the question? You want to use you want to assign the IP address from your physical router? Is that what you want?
No, I was wondering that if we want to access this router, this virtual router, how do we do that? To see
Yeah,
how
that's
the
a good
routing is
question.
done.
I have no idea.
Okay,
I never
that's
really
fine.
thought about that. But you could let's see here. It must have some settings in here. Let's see. Network. These are just the adapters, right? But if you go into machine and then you go to machine settings, these are global settings. Oh, actually no. Preferences, I suppose. Or host network manager. Okay, yeah. Here and then configure automatically. This is what is doing automatically. You could configure adapter manually. And then this is okay. Yeah, here is the DHCP server. It starts giving you after 100. You could change it like 200s here. It will the IP address over here starts after 200. Okay. The lowest address and the highest address is. So actually, you do it here. Is that what you're talking about? You fool around in here and I mean you can
Yeah.
definitely add one more in here and then fool around and see what you could do.
Yep. Actually, here we can isolate the range for static basically, and we can stick the dynamic range. So
Yeah.
DHCP will not override our range. That's what I wanted.
But
You
this
know
is
what I'm
what
saying?
it usually does is most router it looks for the the net MAC address for the system and then it kind of put it in their temporary memory to assign this back to the same IP address before the lease is up.
Yeah, that's true. But what I was saying that since we are using 110 for our bond, right? So we if we go to DSP, we can stick to the range for DSP that will be a separate segment, and it will never overlap our static segment. That's what I want to say.
That is true, and I've seen you also have to provide the hardware address also to set those aside. But from the range, I hear you that you want to set aside only these IP address will be set aside as a static IP. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could do that. And that's how it's actually done in the most of the production environment. All these IP addresses are handpicked, and they put in the system, and those are the ones only being used by each system here. They are not random. Okay, I don't want to start next topic here. We'll just go into a brief history of Linux. So this Linux is coming from Unix, and it's been developed by AT&T. Okay, AT&T has AT&T is a company that develop a lot of IT related stuff here, but we don't really correlate those things with AT&T. But I think even the C programming, AT&T has developed that. So, yeah, okay. Remember this date, December 12, 1969. Okay, this is the birth of Unix, and this date you will learn later in the class that this date is of significance because some of the files that use, they have like a date, and the date they will be using it as a number from this date. So number of days, how many number of days has been since 1969? Okay, so let me put that in Google. Okay, you will come across the day here, and you will be using this as a reference for the day some file was modified or something happened. So what this actually would be here is this is a birthday of December 31st, 1969, is a birthday of Unix operating system. Okay, Unix operating system, and then every other thing after that is based out of Unix. And then who developed this? It's developed by Bell Labs, AT&T, I think. Yeah, AT&T today. They are the one who developed it, and they want to make money off of it. But what happens is that they weren't able to make money, so it sat around for 10 years. And after that, what they did was, okay, we're not making any money out of this, so they make it open source. Okay. So they made it open source in 1987. Okay, and after it went to open source, the companies like IBM, HP, and Sun Micro, they took the code and start developing their own Unix-based OS. So there are only two operating systems out there. One is Unix, and other is DOS. DOS means a disk operating system, and a disk operating system is nothing but Windows. I I think DOS was developed by IBM, but they just gave it to Windows for nothing, and Microsoft started doing the licensing. And then in 1991, this guy named Linus Torvald, he took the course, he took the code and developed Linux. And the term Linux is named after his name. So from there, then it has the code is there, and then they put a condition that anything you develop, AT&T, they put a condition to be free. Okay, so the code could be partially open. But I think you could take the Linux code here, and then you could take the Linux code, and then you could build your own operating system. Okay, that's what the flexibility is. You could go and download the code and then start developing your own code. But the catch is it has to be free. You have to make it free. Okay. But what a lot of companies are doing is they are circumventing around it. They are releasing two versions of their code. One is paid version and another one is free version. So that way they could claim, no, actually I misspoke. One is all their versions are free, but when you come for the support, they're going to charge you. They will you have to subscribe for their support, and then they will help you. Okay, so we'll see what these companies are doing here. Okay, so let's see here. So IBM has their version. It's called AIX. Okay, IBM version is AIX. And you have to get you have to purchase the hardware from IBM. For AIX to be working, you have to purchase the IBM hardware, or else it won't work. Okay, same thing with HP. HP used this code here, and they come up with HP UX. And then you have to purchase the same thing. You have to purchase the hardware for HP to be working. And there are a lot of other companies who are doing it. I think Sun Microsystem is doing something with it, and
well, Zafar, Sun Solaris is Unix, right?
I would still say Solaris, they're coming down from Unix first. I'm not sure if you could download Solaris on this box here.
No, we cannot. And also, most of the companies have already given up on Solaris.
Yeah, I think you could download it here. Say it's giving you option. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about this. When you put in the resume, just put down Red Hat, and that way you're all covered here. I mean, that's what it's doing. And somebody come up to say, do you know HP UX? And I said, just tell them you know Red Hat, okay? So either they hire you or not. You just worried about Red Hat. Sun. Oh, it's Oracle now. Yeah. We'll just leave it there. But the Linux-based, the one developed by Linus Torvalds, Linux-based is they are hardware independent. Okay, and then it's free, and it's developed by either it's developed by company or individual. Okay, and then I'll tell you how it works here. It's very secure, and any new update that is coming up, they will patch it. They will patch it right away. And then the versions of Linux are coming out every day. Every day there are so many versions coming out. And new tools are added. New tools are added in a release. Okay, and what is this new releases called? New releases is referred to as distribution. So the correct term is what distribution you're using or what version you're using. That's what is referred to as. So when somebody is asking what distribution you're using, you tell them you're using a Red Hat 7 or Red Hat 6 or whatever. Okay. So now the companies. So what are the distribution?
Debian, Ubuntu,
Yes.
SUSE.
So there is a company called Red Hat. What they do is they have the version here, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and they have CentOS, the one we are using, and then Fedora is their version. Okay, give me 1 second here. Then Oracle has it. Oracle is called OEL. Oracle Enterprise Linux. That's what it stands for. And then SUSE, I think SUSE is a French company. I'm sorry, German company. And this is where SAP is running all the time because they choose their own German version. So they're using SAP runs on SUSE a lot. And there is Debian. Okay, and I heard Ubuntu is South African. Ubuntu is South African. And then, what else? Okay, Android and iOS, all these are Linux based. All these are Linux based. So all this is coming from here. It's not going far. It's not. This guy here, he made Linux, and then after that, all this distribution are Linux based here. And big corporation, they have their own Unix based. They're using not Linux but Unix for their offering.
So the Linux core is based on the Unix. So what is is there any major difference between both of them?
It's the root is there. The root is there, but the commands and some of the file behaviors, those are a little bit different. What IBM and HP has to offer.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not teaching you Linux. I'm not teaching you Unix. I'm teaching you Linux, and the version I'm teaching you is Red Hat. By the way, I chose Red Hat because when I was working at Apple, they have 95% was Red Hat. So if a company like that is using Red Hat, so you could imagine how big popular is it. I think Google, Amazon, all those guys are using Red Hat too. And by the way, Red Hat was bought out by IBM 6 months ago. Yeah. So the Red Hat is free, but what is not free is the support. Okay. Okay, here's another catch here. What the Red Hat did was Red Hat developed packaging system the packaging system for the additional software that you install on the operating system. It's called RPM packaging system. It stands for Red Hat Package Manager. And they had such a good success with this. What has become is RPM has now become it has become a generic term now. So now what are RPM based systems now? The other distributions, they are adapting the RPM based system. So now all these are RPM based. I know that for sure. I don't know about the other ones, but these are RPM based systems. Let me Google it here. RPM based. Okay, let's see here. What is RPM? Oh, okay. All these are Linux guys. I mean, they have I don't even know all these here. Aurora, Asian. You could pick up your own Linux code, and then you could develop your own operating system here. Okay, so I was surprised SUSE is using RPM based. CentOS and all that here. SUSE Debian. Okay, here's a catch here. For Red Hat, you have a CentOS and Fedora, right? These are the free versions here. So if you install CentOS and go to Red Hat for support, they won't be able to give you the support for it. You have to install RHEL, even though they are the same exact version and everything, down to the smallest grain. They still want you to install Red Hat. If you have Red Hat Enterprise Linux, then you will get a support from Red Hat. If you install CentOS or Fedora and you try to go get a support from Red Hat, they won't give you support. Same with Oracle. When you install OEL, you have to go to Oracle for that too, for it to be working here. So on your resume, you could comfortably put down all this here: Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, OEL, and I have another list here, so I'll send it to you, which ones to put down here. But you should put down all these here because they're all the same. Okay. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna start working on logical disk. We'll work on how to do FDisk and all that. And tomorrow's class is very important, guys. Make sure you join on time and everything. We'll cover it within 2 hours. Let's see. Let me see here.
Zafar, before you end, could you cat one time ITH1 and ETH2?
This is the same information I put in here. So you don't need this. You don't need the hardware information. Mount 0, slave yes, yes, boot proton none. 5 lines, and let me get 2. ETH2 bound 0, yes, yes, none. And let me cat bound 0. Okay, did you get it?
Yes.
Zafar, like a question about the alias bond zero bonding. You didn't have to put like equal signs or anything?
No. You just put down exactly, this is a bond 0. Alias bond 0 bonding. Okay, if it's bond 1 for you, you could play around with this, give it a name bond 1. And then you have to give here, instead of bond 0, you have to give bond 1. I want you all to like play around so much the system crashes and build it from scratch. The more you do it, the better it gets.
And Zafar, also, can we use the bridge adapter for the VirtualBox? Is that okay?
No, what will happen is when you use a bridge adapter, the IP would be assigned by your physical router then. Okay, so we're gonna be trying to set up DNS and all those and Pixie boot and all those. All those things are gonna corrupt that. So if your host only adapter is working, work with that for now. And then as we progress, if you need to go onto the internet, you add the third adapter as NAT, and then it will give us internet access. NAT stands for network attach. I don't know what the T stands for. Give me one second.
To add the host only adapter, we have to create another Linux, another machine, right? And I think in the previous video you showed us how to do that. Is that in the first video?
No, I mean you kept one as the original one, right? Then you're cloning it as you progress through.
Yeah, because I was having an issue with the host adapter connecting to that. I think you said to create a new.
Same thing. That's what I did here. For the original one, I kept it all blank. And once you make a clone,
all blank. Okay.
Once you make a clone, so that it doesn't get corrupted. You know what I mean? It doesn't keeps the old IP and all that. And then once you make a clone, then you go in and make some changes and
modify it. Okay.
But when we're going to be setting up DNS and all that, if you use bridge adapter, then a lot of things will go broke. Because what your network adapter, what your physical router or the Wi-Fi router does is it will overwrite some configuration files when you are using it. Then it will create some problem. Okay. But you could create one. You could clone it, and then you're free to fool around with it and see. That's how you're gonna learn. The good thing in here is you could create as many in here and work through it and then crash it. The more you do it, the better it's gonna get for you.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to end here. I think tomorrow I'll cover a little bit of network, some how the internal network is working and all that. And then after that, LVM probably next week.
So one thing we noticed was that service network restart does not suffice whenever we are changing these ETH1, 2 and bond confer. It's better to restart the server, right?
In real world scenario, you don't have to do it. The uptime, when you do uptime in the real world scenario, I mean this is the reason we have link bonding is so that it doesn't the system is the database is not interrupted and the system is not interrupted. You don't have to restart all those things. But in this scenario, you have to restart, I suppose.
Yeah, because it was not working for me until I restarted.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Because on the back end, all these systems are well managed. We have all the big teams managing everything. So if something is well managed, they are supposed to be working, right? So that's how it works. We don't, in this demo, so far everything is working. I'll just have to do a physical restart or do a little bit of extra troubleshooting. All right, so I'm going to stop here and then we'll connect tomorrow. And then I'll cover a little bit more on the network. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay. Allah Hafiz.